Okay, so I recently shared that one of the things that I like to do internally at Fermat is write memos. And so the most recent memo that I wrote for the team that I wanted to share a framework about uh, in this Whiteboard Wednesday is about speed and input over output. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is a lot of times people get worried about for any given decision when I have to choose between A and B, like, am I going to pick the right one? Right. And so it's like, hey, should I do X action with a customer? Or should I build Y product? Or should I build Z feature? And uh, generally speaking, I think people worry about like, hey, should I get the right? I want to get it right because otherwise I feel like I'm doing a bad job. And I think that this is like a big mistake. I talk about this a lot, but the only thing that matters is slope, not actually what the any given decision is. In fact, I would say independent of which one of these two things you do, because things are still changing with time, even if you pick the right thing, if you worry too much about making sure it's right, so much time will have elapsed that actually this moves from being correct to like unsure because the outside world doesn't wait for you to make your decision on any given thing. They're just going to continue to move forward. And then now maybe, or maybe even worse, the decision is no longer even relevant, right? And so the only thing that matters is like, hey, make the fastest decision as quickly as you can, given the inputs at that time, and then just do it as quickly as possible. And what that will do is set you on a slope to get the best possible outcome without worrying about the like intercept today, right? Now, I'm going to try to make this like more tangible, right? So in the D2C world, the most obvious example of this is like creative testing, right? Because the cost of like creative testing has basically gone to like close to zero because it's easier than ever to get a large number of creatives, and Meta has made it very easy to use their tools to figure out which creative is actually drawing in the audience that you want. And then similarly, on the SaaS side, there's a number of things that are similar. So, like features, is this feature actually a useful or not useful feature? You can figure out pretty quickly based on usage how much value is being brought by the feature to the customer, right? And so these types of things are true over and over and over again, where actually just like launching, making sure you have speed, making sure you have good inputs. And then, of course, you have to watch the output, right? So the job of the output is to like, is the barometer, uh, but it's not actually the action, like, it's not actually the pedal, right? So it's more like, hey, if I press the pedal, then I get to this speed, and then I watch the speed, and then I decide whether to lay off the pedal or not. But the pedal and the speedometer are different things, and so that's sort of the framework that I would use. And it's just and this sort of thing happens everywhere. It happens with your career. It happens with the actions that you take. And I think that you want to be in an organization that values the fact that you are testing fast and then watching the output over an organization that values whether or not any given decision is correct. All right. Well, I hope that that was helpful.